Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Elizabeth Elenor, and it's pause. It's pause. It's the opportunity for us to just stop and reflect. So let's just take a nice deep breath in through our nose and out through your mouth. And just take a moment to pause. Something that we just don't do enough of in today's chaotic society. So today we're talking about magnetic attraction and what wants to be born through you. And I was taking my time because I thought that it was going to come up on my screen, and of course it didn't. There I am. So I'd love for you to say hi in the chat and let me know if you're watching live. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay so that I can jump in and say hi to you afterwards and give you a wave and really connect, because we're all about consciously creating relationships, right? Building community and connecting. So let's talk about magnetic attraction and what really wants to be born through you. Like, that's a big question, right? Let's just stop for a second and ask the question to your soul. What wants to be born through me? What wants to be born through you? Just ask your soul. Because I'm going to say it again. We are here at this time and space for a particular thing. Like, our soul chose this moment. Our soul chose to... I've got a hair or something in my eye that's driving me crazy. Maybe it's caught in my glass. I'm back. Our soul chose to experience this time and this space right this moment, right? It came down to experience life. And why did it choose this time and space, right? So we are living in many multi-dimensional aspects, and when you're working, you're walking the talk, like you're walking through this journey. And I've been doing spiritual growth development stuff for, like, I don't know, 27 years or something now, right? And I've been through so many different aspects of it where, everything was external, and, you were talking to your guides, and you had to say the right language, and all of those things are still relevant, right? But we can come to those things from lack instead of from creation. And they can become rigid dogma instead of ways of flowing and creating and being in alignment with the universal consciousness of truth, right? So at this time and space, we are in multi-dimensional aspects. I did 7 years of past life regression when I first started this journey. And through that process, I developed into recognizing that I don't believe in past lives, because as you move more into the fifth level, the fifth dimension, you recognize unity. Fifth and sixth dimension is, time and space becomes irrelevant. And it's still here, and I'm still here as a soul and an individual, and this time it's called Elizabeth, right? Throw me a wavy hand and your name. What did your soul get chosen to be called this time around? And this time around, this is who I am, but I'm also, several million other things at the same time. And so as I moved into more and more past lives, the more I recognized that it's all happening in the now moment. So the way we did past lives was we cleared any vibrations that were holding us back in that particular life. And I remember the very first one that freaked me out, because what it does when you clear the energy from that life, it's clearing the energy in this life now, right? And I remember the first one that blew me out, because I was a bum in the street. I was a man, and I was laying down, and I was very close to just going, I don't want to be here anymore, right? Done. And I was homeless, and I had ratty hair. It was dirty, and dreadlocks, because I hadn't had access to a brush, and my clothes were filthy. I remember holes in my sneakers, and I was just in this mess, right? And the lady that was facilitating, my mentor at the time, she said, let's go back to a time when you weren't like this. What happened to get you to this place? And so we go back. I'm like 7 years old, and I'm full of knowledge and light and wisdom. And I'm standing there with all these adults, and I'm trying to get the adults to listen to me, right? I'm saying, and it was because I was just new to it. I wasn't articulating very well. So I was just like, everything's love, and we just need to love each other. And, I was doing all the rainbows and unicorn stuff, right? And no one would listen to me. And so because of that, my life trajectory became very different. Like my timeline went into a place where I was not seen, I was not heard, I was not valued. And because of that, didn't value myself, didn't feel good enough. And, ended up in the streets as a bum, and was going to commit suicide, And so what we did was we then, let's fast forward and, back up, sorry. And my mentor came in and said, listen to this child. This child's got some wisdom to share. So everyone listened to her and stopped. I shared my wisdom, and she said, now let's fast forward and see the change, what's happened. And I was walking down the street. I had a suit on. I was well respected. People were seeing me in the street and smiling, and knew who I was. But the very first thing that happened, I'm laying down on this bed as we're doing this past life regression. And as we move back into the life, I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair is clean and short. I could literally feel on my head that my hair had been cut, and that it was clean and short. And so I had a physical experience in this life after cleaning up the vibration and the resistance in that previous life, right? So we're all connected in this one moment. And the more I went through these things, the more I recognized we don't have past lives, right? We have more than this life. It's in the one now moment. We've got multi-dimensional aspects of ourselves. But in this moment, we are magnetically attracting, as this physical body, something that we chose to experience. What did we come here to experience? And throw it in the chat. Do you have an idea of what you wanted? Like, what is the essence of what your soul wants to experience? Like, it doesn't have to be a long sentence. Like, just from the heart space, what do you know that you came here to experience? Because we all ultimately know that deep down there's something that we're here to experience. So throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat what you're here to experience. I know personally, one of my biggest ones was to belong, to experience belonging, because I didn't feel like I belonged, right? In fact, I came into a family, and this is what happens, guys, right? Whatever it is, this is just a little tweak and a hack for you. Whatever it is that you're here to experience, you come in not experiencing it. You come in with a whole different contrast, so that you can move and grow into that. So I grew up in a family with a mother that felt very separate and very disconnected from her world. And so when I came in, my brother had just there was a stillborn just before me, and I was a girl for the first time. I had two older brothers, a stillborn brother, and here I was as a little girl, um, and I was separate because I was healthy, I was alive, and I was a girl. I was separate from everyone else, and she kept me hidden from the world. And so, therefore, when I left school, I was very shy at school. I really didn't like looking and hanging out with people, and I wasn't allowed to. But then, when I left school, it was like, oh my gosh, there's a world out there, and it freaks me out because I don't know anything about it, and I didn't feel like I belonged to that world. So I've spent my life feeling safe and feeling comfortable to belong in the world, right? So what is it that you think you're here for? To really deeply connect in with your soul, that thing that you came in to really, really deeply connect with, right? So our soul already knows what we're here to experience. But what happens is all the other stuff gets in the way. All the stuff gets in the way. And so, for me, I could have let that be a problem for me. And it was for a very long time. I felt very disconnected. I was disconnected to my family. Mum, we only knew my auntie. So my uncle died and I didn't even get to meet him. We were like, funny how things are put together, right? Like, get this one. I grew up in a street where, like, for 50 odd years, Mum had this house. She was the first one to buy property and build a house in this street, right? She thought she was going to bring her kids up in the country. We grew up in Blacktown, right? Not country setting at all. But get this, we were the first there, and everyone that built around us, all of the street people, the neighbours, all became really close, good friends, and Mum didn't like them. So we were smack bang in the middle of this real, like, Neighbours. You see that TV series from Australia, Neighbours. It was like that, and we were smack bang in the middle with no connection to them whatsoever. In fact, I grew up with Sharon on one side, who was the same age as me, and Amanda on the other side, who was 1 year younger than me, right? So all three of us lived together, but we didn't have anything to do with the family. So while I was growing up, I was trying to belong, and here was these kids that would all go and have barbecues together, and I wasn't, as soon as they were allowed to eat, I had to be sent home. All these things that were happening in my life to show me that I didn't belong. Now, I could have allowed that. That would have been my familiar mind. I could have allowed that to be my life. And I could have been here right now. In fact, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be seeing me. You wouldn't be hearing me. I would not be owning my own business. I would be, someone working, maybe an accountant. Like, I don't know. I would have been someone that didn't be seen and heard and just live day to day in the not belonging world, right? But we're here to build a bridge from what we experienced as a child into breaking free of that resistance and moving into a space of expansion and learning from those experiences so that we can develop into more and more light, more and more of our being, more and more like a higher frequency. Good morning, Isabel. I just saw you. So we can get stuck in that familiar mind. We can get stuck in the things that hold us back, because as we're growing into that, that becomes our reality. So now, when the soul is whispering over here, and the soul is constantly whispering over here, by the way. So when the soul is whispering over here and saying, come over here and find the freedom that that you're seeking, find the expansion, find the joy, find the love, find the growth over here, and it's constantly sharing that wisdom. And we call it white rabbit moments, where the universe is giving us these little clues, and they start off as triple numbers and car parks and little things that illuminate. But then the more you listen, the more you hear, the more you understand, the more you see these signs, and you start recognizing them for what they are, and you start building that relationship with your higher self and your intuition, right? Because that part of you gives you a sign. But guess what? That familiar mind also gives you signs, and generally we listen to them. Those signs have even been used as spiritual bypasses. My higher self, my spirit guide told me not to do that. Oh my gosh, if I could have a penny for every time I heard that when I was living up in far north Queensland. Listening to the wrong part of us, the familiar mind that wants us to stay the same, disconnected, broken, in the familiar, uncomfortable comfort zone. And it can be really tricky over there because it's a lot louder, it's got a lot more to say. It's constantly talking. That mind chatter is constantly talking, and it's got worse now because now we've got social media to bombard our mental capacity as well. So it comes through in distorted information, and that mind is the one, or that voice is the one that we generally listen to, because it's got way more to say. And it feels more comfortable listening to that one, because even when we're feeling uncomfortable in it, we know that. We know that comfort. We know that uncomfortable feeling. And so it's much easier to listen to that. So the thing is, though, when we're living in our magnetic energy, and we're living in a magnetic field, we are an electromagnetic being. We are attracting, law of attraction, guys. You guys know this. We are attracting whatever we focus on. So when we're focusing on holding ourselves in the familiar mind and being comfortable in the things that we, know and trust and be, we're familiar with, we will stay the same. We will not grow, and we'll get to the end of our life and go, oh bugger, I really wanted to do this time, right? I really wanted to be seen. I really wanted to belong. I really wanted to feel comfortable expressing myself. I really wanted to feel good enough. I really wanted to recognize myself as whole and see that. Who's up for being whole? Throw into the comments whole if you're up for being a whole person and being in that space. Because that's what we're here for. It's listening to that quieter mind, that part of us that wants to whisper in the background. There's not viring, what's the word for it? It's not in competition. That's what's the word for it. It's not competing against the other mind. The other mind, the familiar mind, is constantly competing for first up, first show, first voice. It wants to be the one that you listen to because it thinks that if you don't listen to it, it will die, right? The other mind, the higher mind, the part of us that's our soul, connected to our soul, is not in competition. It's just this gentle voice, this whisper in the background, the next song that you listen to, the next words you open up on a page, the next license plate you see. It's sharing in different ways. And it truly, truly just wants you to listen. And it's not fighting for attention. So that's the one that's why it can be tricky, right? Because it's gently in the background. So when you're looking to magnetically attract and align with what you're born here, what really, you're here to be born through you, it's recognizing that when you're creating from the familiar mind, it's way more chaotic, it's way louder, it's often got lower vibrational energy to it, so fear, doubt, worry, concern, all of those things. It's distracting, right? It's self-deprecating. When you're creating from a place of unity with your higher mind, with your soul, there's a lot more stillness. It's it can happen in a way that's so subtle that you don't even recognize it. When I create and I have those moments of magic come through, like the 3 shooting stars, going through 4.5 centimeter brain tumor, like those moments when I'm really connected into my destiny, they are just an ordinary day, and I'm having an ordinary decision. I'm just having an ordinary moment. They're not impactful. They're not bright and bubbly. They're just this subtle energy, this subtle thought, this subtle moment of, oh, I might do that. That's when I'm following my destiny. So let's just take a moment to pause. I'm going to get you to just gently close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's just drop into our heart center. Maybe even place your hand on your heart. And feel the beating of your heart. Feel the connection and the warmth of your hand. Breathing and relaxing. And just quietening your mind. Bringing all of your energy and attention, awareness back to yourself now. And in this stillness, in this moment, just ask your soul, what is it that I'm here to create? What's the one thing, the essence of my soul's growth? And just allow your soul to share and to send that information through. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, and gently open your eyes. Morning, Steph. You can connect to your soul at any time. Your soul wants you to listen, to hear, to experience. Now, if you're having a little bit of a challenge with that, if it's been a little while since you've given yourself permission to listen to your soul, or if you're new to this and you might not know how to do that, just put a love heart into the chat and we can reach out and support you, do a 20-minute call to talk to you about how to listen to your soul, how to hear that voice. Because this is where all the magic lies. This is where your life sparkles. This is where everything comes together. So even if you've got chaos in your life at the moment and you feel like you don't know how to do this, you don't feel good enough, you think everyone outside in the world knows how to do this and I don't, I can guarantee that you do, because it's a natural ability. It's part of our birthright. So sending lots of love, spending more time pausing through the day. Just take that little moment to pause, just a little moment every so often. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I will catch you next Tuesday. Take care.